Hi, my name is Vicki and I'm with the Northland Small Business Development Center. This is the first of a 4-part series on starting a business in Minnesota. In this session, we're going to talk about whether or not your business idea is feasible. Let's take a look at some of the things to consider when starting your business. What are your skills and what are your personality traits? Are you a self-starter? Are you adaptable? Do you see what needs to be done and then go ahead and do it? Having these traits will definitely help as you start your business in managing in your day-to-day tasks. Are you a lifelong learner? There are so many parts to running a business, and you will constantly, as a business owner, need to be making sure that you know all of the different pieces, what's new in your industry, in marketing and beyond. Are you willing to put in long hours? Business owners have a lot of sacrifices to make in their personal lives. Time spent with friends and family might have to suffer as you work to get your business off the ground. And you might have to make sacrifices financially for the first few years of your business as well. As you're working really hard to get things off the ground, are you willing to put in the time and effort to make your business successful? And are you a good money manager? Are you good at keeping to a budget and managing your finances? These are also important things to consider when you think about if running a business is right for you. And lastly, are you able to sell and promote yourself and your product? Are you really passionate about what you're doing? And will that be something that you can express to other people? Consider all of these things when you think about if starting a business is right for you. One thing you want to make sure you don't do is underestimate the time and investment needed to start a business. In the beginning and growing stages, you will have to put in a lot of extra hours, a lot of effort to make sure your business is getting off the ground. So let's talk a little bit about your idea, why you're here today. Does your business offer something that is not currently available in your area or in your market? And can it be competitive based on quality, selection, price, or convenience? Remember, you don't have to be the highest quality store with the biggest selection, the lowest price, and the most convenience. But you do need to understand where you can differentiate from your competition. Are you going to be the highest quality product at a higher price? Or are you going to be the most convenient place to get your product or service? Make sure you understand where you think you can be most competitive. And then understand the existing market for your product or service. Does demand exceed supply right now? Or are you going to have to compete in a really tight marketplace to make sure that your business is successful compared to your competition? Let's talk a little bit about your skills. So, do you have the necessary skills to run a business? You probably don't have them all, but that's okay. If you plan to hire employees as part of your business model, do you have experience as a manager or supervisor? Do you have knowledge of your industry, and so the technical knowledge that goes into how to produce your good or service? Basic business knowledge is important to all business owners, whether that's managing a budget, understanding your marketing campaigns, planning your sales projections for the upcoming year. These business skills will be a part of any type of good or service that your business might produce. You might say, okay, I know a lot about my field and I'm pretty good at managing people, but I am not great at numbers and planning a budget out. So do you have the willingness and ability to hire someone to fill in those gaps? Really critically think about what your strengths and weaknesses are and where you would maybe need to hire employees or contractors to help you out to make sure your business is successful. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about your market. And so what does that mean? Who are your target customers and what do they look like? And yeah, in some cases, what do they really look like? Are they older or younger? Do they have a high level of education? What's their gender? And do they have an average, below average, or above average income level? Understanding your target customer is very important because that helps you make sure that your product is going to be able to sell and that you can tailor your advertising and marketing campaigns to be most successful. Also, where do your customers live and shop? Are you targeting mostly people that live in your area already? Or are you going to try to get business from tourists visiting your area or in the online marketplace? Understanding this, again, will help make sure that you are targeting the market properly with your prices, your selection, and your advertising to be successful. You should also consider the needs, hobbies, and values of your target customers. It's more about what are they looking for? What do they value? And is your product aligned with how they see themselves in the life they want to live? That's just as important as their age and their income level when you consider how you're going to market to this target audience. And are you offering a product or service they will use? You know, selling surfboards in northeastern Minnesota has a really limited market. There's just not that much available surf for us to use in the area. So making sure that you have a product or service that you can sell in the market that you're targeting, whether that's online or local. And lastly, I'd like to remind you to identify your competition, because again, understanding who your competitors are and what their strengths and weaknesses are will be very important in understanding how your business is going to be most competitive. What are your strengths compared to your competitors? Highlight that and make sure that your business plan can work based on those strengths. The next part in understanding if your business can be feasible is taking a look at the income and costs. So what are the finances of your business idea? A cash flow projection is an estimate of how much money is going to come in and out of your business in the future based on your sales estimates moving forward. So as you develop a cash flow projection, you're going to want to look at both your startup costs and your monthly costs going forward. Startup costs are typically one-time expenses that you will need to pay before you even open your doors and make your first sale. That might be development of a website and a logo. That might be insurance costs that you need before you open on your first day. Licensing and registration fees, legal fees. These are all types of startup expenses that you'll need to consider when looking at your finances and whether or not it's feasible to start up your business. What about your sales estimates? So how much income, how much revenue are you going to bring in through your business? You can estimate this by taking a look at how quickly you can produce your good or service. So what's your capacity to produce this? And then take a look at your market. Can you sell all of the goods or services that you could produce? What about your production costs? You need to know the actual cost for both materials and labor for everything that your business is going to produce. Whether that is a sandwich and chips on your menu, or whether that's a service to provide consumers with new technology on their computers. Whatever that might be, you should understand the goods and services. Also important to your business will be monthly expenses. So what are those ongoing expenses that you're going to have every month? If you have an office space or warehouse, you are going to have utilities that you need to pay and possibly rent or lease payments. So it's important to understand all of those monthly expenses, from purchasing inventory, your payroll, your ongoing utility and physical space requirements. All of those expenses are important to research and understand before you even open your business, because that will go into your cash flow projection and help you understand if you can make money doing your business idea. What about financial considerations for you personally? Having strong financial literacy skills is very important to running a business. So you'll need to know your personal income needs and come up with a personal budget for yourself after you've started your business. You need to make sure that you can pay both your personal bills as well as those monthly expenses for the business moving forward. Having a detailed household budget and business budget will help you make sure you have enough cash to make things work. Having a good credit score is also very important for business owners. you may need to access a loan or line of credit or other financing to implement your business ideas. Having a credit score of 650 or higher will definitely make it easier to access that kind of financing as well as get a lower interest rate. You can check your credit score through myfico.com, or a lot of credit cards offer now free services to check your credit score on a monthly basis. And if it's not the best, you can work to fix it. If there's an error in your credit report, you can report that and ask to have it fixed, which can improve your credit score. And there are other skills that you can tap into regarding your credit, such as having a credit card and paying that off monthly, paying your loans and mortgage on time each month, keeping accounts open for a long period of time instead of opening and closing them. These are all ways to increase your credit score, which will help make financing your business easier. When you look at financing your business, your lender will typically also want to know about collateral. And collateral are assets that you can pledge to your lender as a contingency for your loan. So if you think about a mortgage, if you don't pay your mortgage, your lender can foreclose on your house. In this case, there may be other assets you have, such as vehicles or recreational land, that you can use as collateral to help make a business deal work. Know your financing options and talk to several potential lenders before making a deal. There are a lot of different kinds of lenders out there, whether that's traditional banks, community credit unions, non-bank lenders in our region. We'll cover that in more detail in another session coming up. And lastly, when you think about your finances, what will you do if something goes wrong? You've probably, at this point in your business, looked to put in a lot of your own personal money and invested a lot of your own time. And if something goes wrong where you don't meet your sales projections, or if there's an emergency like a pandemic that you have to deal with that cuts into your bottom line, do you have a plan to make it work? Do you have enough cash in reserve? Again, planning not just for the best case scenario, but for potential emergencies is important for your business. So that covers an overview of things to think about when understanding if your business idea is feasible. Again, my name is Vicki Hagberg. I'm with the Northland Small Business Development Center, and you can sign up for services at no charge on our website, northlandsbdc.org. Good luck with your project, and look forward to seeing you soon.